Sometimes dead is better.
You know, I've heard that intro a million times, and sometimes it always seems just shorter and shorter to me. What about you?
I'm not editing it at all.
It just seems shorter to me. I don't know why.
The action one is longer.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
Maybe it's because we record so far apart now.
Well, there's that too.
Now we're back on schedule, and I don't have to hear these songs over and over and over again.
You wanted to say that damn song over and over and over.
Yeah, that damn song.
No, I'm loving being back on the once a week thing, so I am totally okay with this right now.
Welcome to Give Me Back My Horror Movies, everyone. You heard Charlie. You've heard me, Nate. You know what you're in for.
We're back.
We're back, like
or if
usual.
Or if you're like binging us right now, it's us again.
Hello.
Well, hello there.
Hello there.
Yeah, bud, man.
So, who picked this one? Because I don't remember.
I picked it. We didn't agree on who picked Dog Soldiers, but I picked the Blob.
You definitely picked the Blob, 1988.
And I picked it
the year of our Nate.
The year of our Nate. The year that the Lord has blessed the earth with Nate.
With a Nate.
His mother's like, would you look at that? Would you just look at that?
You never watched the Blob with your mother, Nate. Ew, that's so gross, Nate. Why do you like these kind of movies, Nate?
There's something wrong with him, honey. I don't know what. He's in that room all the time.
With his horror movies in the black and white. I don't get him.
I hope you said horror movies because it's a different show.
Give me back my bow.
Yeah, we're not starting that again. Okay, that already happened in the group.
Keep trying it.
We're not going down that road again. No, I picked it, and I picked it before Pete picked his movie Slugs because I kept going. We need some Ooey-Gooey, man. We are lacking Ooey-Gooey, and then Pete picks a movie, and I'm like, damn it!
I'll tell you what, though. I don't think I've ever seen this uncut. I think I've only ever seen it on TV.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I do not remember the Blob being this bloody and ooey and gooey.
It's
at all.
Amazingly ooey-gooey.
Yeah,
gory.
It is. This is another one
this.
like Blind Fury, though, where it's like I only remember the ending. Like I only specifically remember the Blob taking over like the big, like the street. And running down and running amok on people. That's what I remember of this movie. Well, not much else. It's been that long.
That's what even in the original 1958, that's what everyone remembers is the Blob like rolling down the street, causing chaos and destruction. So it's kind of what it's known for. But man, people were not ready for what this movie put out, man.
You weren't ready for this, but your kids are going to love it.
Damn right.
And let's just get the budget right out of the way. This cost $19 million for a horror movie in the 80s. That's a pretty penny when your Friday the 13th are costing like $3 million.
Yeah.
This one only made $8 million worldwide.
Yeah. Well, on top of your budget, $9 million of that went to visual effects.
Straight up just visual effects.
Visual effects. They didn't make their visual effects money back. Although there's a few things behind that I was watching the interview with the director, and forgive me, I'm pulling it up.
Chuck Russell.
Yeah.
And this is the man that gave us the second best Nightmare on Elm Street movie the year before, Dream Warriors. And that was a hit. So I totally get why the studio went, throw this man a huge chunk of change and let's see what he can do. And even he admits, all right, when this came out, it was too late in the summer. There was a terrible ad campaign. Everything was going against this movie, basically.
The studio was changing hands at the time. And the people that were 100% behind this movie left. They were either bought out or whatever happens when a studio changes hands. So he didn't get the promotions. He didn't get, even he's kind of like, I don't know what they were thinking. Like there was no marketing for this movie whatsoever. Which is probably why I didn't watch this till a lot later. But I'm with you on the first time I watched this was on television. And it's still kind of scary for a kid on
Oh no,
TV.
like
Yeah.
it definitely is. And I'd even like I made the joke in Slugs, like, oh, you just walk away. So before I started this, I was like, oh, the Blob, you're just gonna walk away. This little bastard's fast.
You
There
ain't
is
walking
no
for
walking away. There's tentacles I do not remember.
oh dude, this thing's everything. And it's I was reading that they said that they finally agreed on the, because you remember the original. It looked like slime running down the road, just a ball of snot.
Yeah.
And they
This is
talked
what your
about
kids made during the COVID break, wasn't it?
exactly. Yeah. So we're not doing that again. But they decided in this one on how do we, update it for pretty much, and it's a stomach turned inside out. The acid is on the outside. It's,
That's another
digesting
thing. I
people.
don't remember the Blob burning you. I just remember
it's
the
like,
Blob absorbing you. It's like, nah, you melt when you get touched by this thing.
yeah, you do, man. Yeah, you do. Well, here, real quick, let's set the mood for the show, Nate. We're all over the place tonight, but that's fine. A lot of caffeine, fun week for everyone. So let's hit this trailer real quick.
If it had a mind, you could reason with it. If it had a body, you could shoot it. If it had a heart, you could kill it. Now, man is no longer the supreme being on this planet.
The organism is growing at a geometric rate. By all accounts, it's at least 1,000 times its original mass.
Nobody believes me about what happened tonight.
What did happen?
You were there, you saw.
Plasmic life form that hunts its prey. Predator.
I want that organism alive.
I think you ticked it off.
The Blob. Terror has no shape.
Terror has no shame either.
If it had a heart, you could break it. Thought I was just going to repeat what they said.
It can drive.
At 21, it can drink.
Legally. Oh, so this is what beer tastes like.
Oh,
wow.
So we needed a drunk Blob.
I'm too drunk to eat these people. That's when the Blob starts talking as well.
He's sitting at the bar with the can man, the one guy at the beginning of the movie. I tell you, man, it's been a rough life here.
I know, this is some good hooch. The Blob would definitely call it hooch.
He would call it hooch. That's what he would call it, huh? Hooch is like what's supposed to be like the illegal stuff. If he's sitting at the bar, he's not drinking the illegal stuff.
Nope, he brought in his own.
He's adding it to his own beer.
Yeah,
I got my own hooch. This is
his own Blob canteen.
Family recipe. That's what that is.
The Blob canteen's actually like a teenager skull that he picked up on the way in.
It's a tiny little satellite. And he opens it up and he just pours it down in there and closes the satellite.
Mrs. Blob is at home wondering why he's not getting home at 8 o'clock like he promised. It's now 2 a.m. She's up all night worried about him.
All those little Blob kids are running around. One's got a baseball hat and,
the damn kids are never stop moving. Their tentacles are always absorbing the house. It's a real problem in the Blob household.
Little Billy Blob come home and he had the baseball bat and cap because he absorbed some kid at the ball field on his way home.
Jimmy Blob got sent to the principal's office again for eating his teacher.
Yeah,
That's the third one this week. We can't keep filling this quota.
Little Jimmy's having issues, man. They found a switchblade in his, back pocket.
He's lashy now. He needs attention.
He's been experimenting with dry ice, and he's just reckless, man. He's just reckless. I don't know where we're going with that.
I don't know either.
It's the Blob family.
It's a lovely sequel to this movie.
I like it, man. Blob, the middle-aged years. I like it, but well, since both of us,
it was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the Blob of times.
It was the Blob of times. It's Blobby. You ever watch those Adam Sandler monster movies? Where they're like Frankenstein, the vampire, and all that stuff.
Yeah. The hotels in the Transylvanias.
Yeah, my kids watch it, and there's that one character called the Blobby. It's Blobby. I was like, I like Blobby.
He's like Blobby a lot.
He looks like the Nutty Professor, little blobby goose that's bouncing around.
Oh, you mean Flubber?
Flubber, that's
little
it.
Flubber with Robin Williams.
Yeah, Flubber, that's it.
God, I remember seeing that in theaters as a kid, a long time ago.
I rented that. It was good. All right, I definitely don't know where we're going. Speaking of renting, there's a good segue. Let's. I remember the cover of this movie sitting in the rental store. It was.
How could you not?
It was pink and someone trapped inside the goo. I mean
it's iconic.
It said the Blob at the bottom. Yeah, that's like you knew what you were renting.
I am glad you brought this up because nowadays the art of a movie poster seems to have been lost.
Oh my God, it has, dude.
Like almost.
Why do
I'm not one to yell at Disney, but this is Disney's fault.
Yell at them.
Because if it wasn't for them with Star Wars and the Avengers movies by wanting to show every character on the one sheet and then just with the title, and then they pretty much just do a copy paste with each movie as it goes on.
Yes.
There's no originality there because they already know you're going to go see it. So now they don't have to put any effort into their poster.
Right.
Where back in the day, your poster is what gets you. I say the same thing with Netflix in our interviews. It's like it's that 30-second clip or that poster, that cover art, that title is kind of what makes you go, I'm going to click on this on a Friday night to check it out. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to anything that's nowadays in the movie theaters, I mean, we don't really get good posters anymore, and it's a damn shame, or good cover art.
No, it's all floating heads. It's photoshopping
floating heads
and the title. And what I don't understand is the other companies that know it's the artwork are these boutique Blu-ray and 4K companies that are actually commissioning artists like our friend Chelsea and several others that we know on Instagram.
Which I think is great. Like anytime that these companies are commissioning a local independent artist for either posters or for the cover art for like the 4K release or the Steelbook release.
Oh yeah.
It's fantastic. I can't remember the name of the artist that they did the Army of Darkness 4K Steelbook that's going to be coming out from Shout Factory.
Just saw the update today that it got pushed a week, but they had the
pushed 1 week. But I follow that guy on Instagram. I feel terrible. I cannot remember who it is. They were stoked. Like, oh, hell yeah. Like, the piece I was commissioned for is now finally being revealed.
Well, I mean, and that's what, like, I've got the 4K of the Blob, and as much as I love the original cover, I love the artwork that Shout Factory had done for this.
Now, here's what cracks me up about the one for the Shout Factory.
What's that?
It's literally Purple Rain.
Oh, it totally
is totally Purple Rain. Kevin Dillion in this movie is just White Prince.
It's Pink Rain is what it is.
It's Pink Rain.
Dude, okay, we got to get into we haven't done this in a while, and I want to give Nate time to think. We haven't talked about wardrobes in
no one wants to give Nate time to think.
I'm going to give you time to
a dark, scary place. It's so dark.
Getting a little
cold.
Personal, Nate.
It's wet.
That's the Blob, so you're fine. Stick your hand in it, you'll be good. No, there was a time where you would
hand in that blender just to end it all.
How would that end it all? That would just really hurt. If you're gonna end it all, you want it to kind of be quick. Why would
Did
you
it
just
say I think things through when I'm in my dark room?
just in my dark room staring at that blender? Don't even know why it's in here. I don't drink
even know
smoothies.
why. It's next to my gasoline can that I leave next to the bed.
Well, everyone has those. That's understandable. But
Standard practice.
you can't burn that. That's way too expensive. You have to take a loan out just to fill that son of a bitch up. But I don't even know where I was going. No, you haven't talked about like wardrobes in movies a whole lot. I mean, maybe we did a little bit with Fifth Element, but man, the wardrobe of Kevin Dillon in this movie, I want that shirt. What is that shirt? Do you know what kind of shirt that is? It
He's
had
the first
multiple,
pirate.
yeah, there's no ruffles, but there was like multiple flaps that one could fold down and one was still there, or you could fold both down to get that V cut, or fold them both up and he looked like Brave Star from the 1980s cowboy cartoon. And then he put a leather jacket over top
He
of
is
it.
dressed way too nice to be the town rebel.
Kevin Dillon is a pretty boy in the 80s, man. Period. And I know they were
I
playing
guess I'm a
off
Matt
of,
Dillon kind of guy. I don't see it. I don't get it.
I like Kevin Dillon. I do like Kevin Dillon. I mean, hell, one of his first roles is in one of my favorite movies, Delta Force. He has a non-speaking role in Delta Force. He's sitting there holding
That
a
is
gun,
mentioned in the very first episode of this podcast.
It is. I know. I will always talk about Kevin Dillon. He was also in No Escape. I love that movie. But this one, I don't know. He feels so out of place, and I know they're playing up the Steve McQueen thing from the original movie.
Yeah, like he's got the motorcycle. You remember how I said Patrick Swayze had the best mullet in the 80s?
Well,
Kevin Dillon has the worst mullet in the 80s.
Okay, I was gonna say you better say worse because that's not even his real hair. That was all hair extensions.
So bad.
He has that hair, and then poor Shawnee Smith. She had to have the hairdo that looked like every late 80s and early 90s elementary school girl on picture day, where it just kind of fans out from the side of her head like a cobra hood. And that's what it looked like.
It's hairspray and go out.
Yeah.
Go out. I was
woof.
excited to see young Shawnee Smith in this. I
Right?
didn't realize
Yeah.
she was in this. I was like, cool. This is pre-Becker days. Remember Becker?
I do remember Becker.
He
and
was
that's
always
where
angry.
That's where I remember her the most from. And I'm
Same,
also
like when she popped up in Saw 2, it was like, oh, she does horror? And I did not realize she was in the Blob at all.
Well, I was going to bring it up later which I'm bringing it up now, so there is no later. But I was like, why was she never really done? Why did she never really become a scream queen? I think she would have done really well to continue using her in other, like the Jamie Lee Curtis
she would have
thing.
been fantastic.
I love the fact she got brought back in Saw. She got a lot of love for that.
And she was fantastic in Saw.
They kept using her in the other ones, which was even better. It's like, I love that stuff, but man, she nailed this role in the Blob. She has a great scream when her boyfriend's getting dissolved slowly.
Which I do love that when that character gets dissolved, you're expecting him to not be the hero because obviously our rebel is the hero, but I expected him to last way more than the first 25 minutes of the movie.
That was like, I was watching the interview with the director, and it was all done on purpose. He's like, I want people to expect something and then completely mess up their mind, and not only that, but also kill him in probably one of the most graphic ways in the movie. He was, and that was him inside that prosthetic. That wasn't a dummy. That wasn't animatronics.
I don't know how you do that without like accidentally suffocating a man.
Because
you see that goo stretching over his face and he is screaming and reaching out and it's just more goo.
It was, I forget what the chemical product that did the slime part was called, but it was that and silk. So there was silk in between so it would slide over him. But the way they had it stretched over his face, that's literally distorting his face in those takes. And the director's like, we had to do super short takes because we were really concerned about his safety, because the paint not so much the pain, but just the distortion of him is him. That's exactly what's happening to him as they're pulling that back around his face. But how else would you ever pull that off? I don't even think CG now could do it as believable as put him in there and drag this across his face. You know, I love the 80s, man. It was like, did you die? No, then fine. Let's do another take.
You're good. Yeah, keep it going.
Oh.
Even like Shawnee is pulling on his arm and it just rips off.
Yes.
And it's so gross.
It
and
is
disgusting and like bloody. And I like the way that instead of the arm looking like a prosthetic arm just coming off in like a perfect way,
right.
you see the skin kind of fold underneath. You see like what would be a melted flesh essentially.
Yeah, almost like the acid
being
had
stretched,
melted it and stretched it, and then the little hand twitch as it's like. And I mean, the camera doesn't do any of these weird like fast cuts. The camera pans down across the arm, like they want you to see that arm's laying on the ground moving.
They are absolutely confident in themselves with their practical effects, and they should be, because damn it, they hold up well.
I'm watching this on the Blu-ray. I haven't done I don't even know if this is on 4K, but rarely do I do 4K unless it's just cheaper to go that route. In Blu-ray, this movie is beautiful. Period.
Yeah, the HD transfer of this is amazing. The amount of people that worked on the special effects is absolutely insane. One of them being Nick Benson, who has an incredible resume of Tremors, Nightmare on Elm Street 4, Society. Like, this dude's good at what he does, you know?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, for this to hold up so well, yeah, they had $9 million to play with. So you can really take your time and do it right. But it still had that. I mean, to me, I think these effects are right there with The Thing. You know, I think those two movies are very comparable as far as the shock value of holy shit, they did that, you know.
Oh no, like it's definitely shock value right out the gate when our homeless man has his entire bottom half completely dissolved away.
I love that.
Just goo. Like that reveal when they pull the blankets away. That was the moment I went, holy shit, I am in for a ride with this movie, and I don't remember it whatsoever because I guarantee the TV version pulled it away and only showed the reactions and nothing else.
All you saw was the sheet moving. They pull it away, and then it cuts to the doctor on the phone calling for the nurse. So you don't see any of that.
Like, and this is one of those movies I could perfectly tell with each kill as it was going on. Like, I could see where the camera would have panned over or how they would have done a quick edit to like not show that and still be effective as a movie being played on like AMC back in the day.
And if I'm remembering right, and this is the other great thing about this movie is that reveal of the guy missing half of his body is literally like 10 seconds before the next kill. Like it's that fast.
That's when the movie's like go time.
Yeah. They're like, you're in for it now. Buckle up, Buttercup. Because Paul jumps right onto the phone and we get that little slow down where they're dropping the acid onto the table. You know, I love that. It's hiding behind the door. I chuckle at that scene still. You know, it's like, ooh, I'm behind the door.
I do like we get to see just how small it starts out because, you know, it's a meteorite that crashes into the middle of nowhere. The homeless man's the one that discovers it, and it instantly latches onto him.
Is it a meteorite? Is it a meteorite, though?
Is it, Mr. Scientist?
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, like, we have a very Slugs moment, though, where this thing engulfs his hand. So he has a hatchet, as all homeless people do, I think, in the woods, and starts chopping at his wrist, just like our gardener and Slugs.
And then the blob goes, nope, and covers up the wound.
So now, like, the wound is being covered up, but that wound is still there, and now you have acid burning you.
Yeah, or like I like to picture it as while it was on there, but it was also inside him. Like it's going in his body the whole time they're sitting in the car with him, the whole time he's in the hospital, because it stays right at the midsection area too, which is kind of cool. It never really finishes that guy off. I was
No.
like, I just need a little snack, get my mojo going. Ooh, there's some young, fresh meat right there. He hasn't been eaten by any sausages for 17 weeks. Let's go eat that guy. You know,
Desserts on me.
but doesn't eat Shawnee Smith. That's also the weird.
That was the other weird part. After her date gets eaten, she passes out, and I guess the Blob is just full at the moment because he's still a growing Blob.
He was a little blobby.
He was a little Blob. He wasn't ready for second breakfast just yet.
No, not yet. Second breakfast it's nighttime, so dinner, second dinner. We'll do dinner. Second supper. No, but it's just so stupid fast on how this movie you get your setup of all the characters and everything. You see the Kevin Dillion, the loner rebel. Oh, you're almost 18 years old. Next time I catch you, your ass is going to jail.
I do love that in 80s movies, though. For some reason, we decide to all listen to the 17-year-old, which would never happen in real life whatsoever. Because we're like, no, you're a punk kid. Shut up. I know more than you. But maybe the 17-year-old is the correct one. And maybe we do need to listen to our youth. And maybe that's the problem these days. I don't know.
I've seen TikTok.
But I'm telling you, the guy that's wearing the pirate shirt, I'm probably not going to listen to, truthfully.
I'm not listening to any teenager. I don't care what you say. I've seen what they do. I've seen what you cheer for, and it's sickening. But damn it, this is a nutty episode, man. I don't know where we're at today.
I'll tell you what. Blob eats man eats Jello. Because after a kid gets eaten, they just instantly go to another kid eating Jello. I'm like, maybe we're gonna cannibalize the Blob.
That is like, I know for a fact, because I was watching the interview, that he's like, yeah, we added some comedy. It's not a comedy movie. It's not even really a dark comedy like they kept trying to say Dog Soldiers was, but they add levity into.
No, this is a B-grade movie that knows the winks and nods and knows how to have fun with it while still being like effectively Hitchcock style terror.
Oh yeah. I mean, well, that's the big trope of we immediately take away the person that you think is going to be the hero. That's a Hitchcockian kind of thing to do.
Yeah. We have a woman trapped in a telephone booth, a la The Birds.
Oh my God. We're not there yet.
We're not.
We don't have to be there, man.
We can go wherever order we want to.
I know we can go wherever we want. Okay. Well,
you're dealing with a podcaster that may have undiagnosed ADHD. I'll talk about whatever scene I want to in whatever order, and I'll talk about peanuts.
You said peanuts, right?
I did.
Okay. I mean, I'll confirm if they want. Do they ask for a second opinion? You got it.
Yeah.
People don't get to hear unedited Nate. It's
unhinged.
Oh yeah.
That's why I'm in my dark room.
His cave, his troll cave.
There's a lot of water bottles beneath me. I have my feet in shoe boxes and jars of urine.
Yeah, but it's not your urine.
It's not. Anyway. Don't ask whose it is.
He buys it from a guy down the street. No,
my shelf is a collectible shelf of urine.
Yeah, limited edition run.
I got the Funko Chase edition of urine.
Ew. That has a whole different meaning when you're talking about urine, man.
It actually comes from a man named Chase,
who has the funk.
Yes, exactly.
God. Oh.
What were we talking about?
I don't know. We need to start. I'm regretting not drinking tonight. That's
the Blob.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Telephone pole. Not telephone pole. Telephone. What are those things called that don't exist anymore? Where you used to call 1-800-COLLECT to call and tell your mom to pick you up, but you said in the message for your name. That way they didn't get charged.
Yeah. Please leave message. Mom, come pick me up. And then
wrestling practice is over. I need you to come pick me up.
And then half the time, mom would still pick it up. I didn't understand what you were saying.
What do you mean, Nathan, that the wrestling practice is over? It's like, no, Mom, you're getting charged right now, like $10 a second.
Yeah,
Hang
this is
up.
costing us money. Dad's gonna beat my ass. That's yeah. Phone booth, I think, is the word you're looking for.
That's the one I was looking for.
The thing Superman used to get changed in.
Yeah, what's he changing now?
I have no idea.
Back seats of Uber vehicles.
I think he just
and there's a guy with the Uber like camera that watches his passengers. That way he can stay safe. He's like, "Hey, sir, please put back on your pants."
It's taking a weird turn right now.
Because Superman has to take off his pants to turn.
I'm trying to remember how many times he looked like Clark in the last movies, and it wasn't a lot. He was mostly at home.
He was
on the farm. And
I get it though. That's where I want to be all the time.
At home on the farm.
Yeah, with Bob Evans.
It's an Ohio thing, everyone. If you don't know, you can look it up.
Is it? I thought it was like everywhere.
Well, I think they're everywhere, but Bob Evans Farms is in Ohio.
It is.
I know. I just told you.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
So that's why you're
agreeing.
like, is it really an Ohio thing? Yeah.
Well, I mean,
it is.
I thought like you were saying like only Bob Evans restaurants were here in Ohio.
No, I got some down here, but Bob Evans is in Ohio.
Mr. Evans is, yes.
Not Chris Evans.
Not Chris.
So you can't say Mr. Evans.
Did you watch Gray Man yet?
I did not yet.
Oh my God. I need you to watch Gray Man.
I don't know if you want me to.
Oh, you need to.
Yeah. All right. Now we'll say that for the action show. It's not very highly regarded among the live streamers on the action alone.
Oh, it's fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Okay.
I also watched those guys dog on Thor, and that was fantastic. So
yeah, but I love Thor anyway, but I'm just gonna wait for streaming on that one. So
there you go. It'll be here in a month.
Why are we digressing now, man? We're supposed to be talking about the Blob.
We are. Like when the Blob is over the telephone booth, and then you see the cop's face just like stuck to the glass.
That's another fun little like tidbit in this movie, because the original, that cop makes it to like the end of the movie pretty much. You know, he's like integral at the end, and they straight up killed that character quick.
Well,
and they did it on purpose so they would throw off the original Blob fans. I'm like, in 1988, they're messing with the people from 1958 going, you think you know what's going on? Not today, you sucker.
That's what's strange. Like 30 years later, obviously the original Blob would have had to have had like a VHS re-release or something, probably right before this movie came out.
It had sequels, man.
To, get you hyped up for the remake. Yeah. I've never seen that, and I really am curious as to how they pulled that off in the 50s compared to this. I've never seen it.
I have.
It's just such an interesting concept when you think about in the 50s of like, there would have to be, I'm assuming, a lot of like not showing the Blob.
Well, theaters weren't as prevalent as they are now, though. You know what I mean?
And like we're talking, this would have been the time of like the original Little Shop of Horrors, stuff like that, you know?
Oh, you're talking, I mean,
50s
even
horror.
First Godzilla's like 53 or 54, something like that. I mean, you got to remember the time frame you're in right here. But monster movies were huge. There's a lot of radioactivity, was everything. But it was also, and it gets into, as the movie goes on, you figure out, it was the government the whole time, which again was another big thing in the 50s movies, where it was always, like some kind of radiation ray. They made a tarantula giant because of science or nuclear.
I love that these scientists have machine guns. They play very, very friendly in the beginning, and then they're like, "Ha ha, we got you.
Surprise,
You're not getting away so easily, Mr. Kevin Dillion. Get in the back of that cop van."
They also have rocket launchers on their backs. They have flamethrowers.
C4.
They have grenades strapped to their their little white Tyvek suits. It's like, it wasn't even like, tactical Tyvek suits. They were just kind of pinned and they're hanging.
Yeah,
off
they're wearing the
one dude.
decontamination suits, but they got
That's the
bandoliers
word.
of bullets.
I would. And you would think they're
I'm
the
going up
people
against
that
a Jello that walks. Of course I would.
that makes the whole end of this movie so freaking weird to me when they're just like, let's get him, boys. And they just shoot down the manhole cover.
Yeah, they all get in a perfect circle and just start shooting down a manhole.
Throw a bomb. Well, that took care of that son of a bitch.
Yeah, I like that they're like, yeah, that's what worked. I'm like, no. All you did was make him absorb the bullets, and for all we know, he can spit them back out at a faster velocity.
He did get bigger all of a sudden, though, too. Like, after that explosion, he was huge when he popped up out of the sewer. We're at the end of the movie already, Nate. This is a great
we got to
episode.
backtrack. We rewind the podcast.
Hit the rewind button. We're everywhere, man. It's fine.
You know what I want from this movie to be real, though?
What's that?
Garden Massacre.
Right? I love that little parody Friday the 13th movie they're watching in the movie.
Yes. And I like the dialogue of you have the two teenagers like making out, and there's like, oh, there's a guy watching us. Well, let's put on a show for him. And then the guy's like, wait a minute. Hockey season ended months ago.
I like before all that was, he was like, it's just the gardener gardening at night.
Yeah, I need Garden Massacre to become a real movie.
This was part 2. I want to see part 1 though.
Yeah.
That was the best part. And little Eddie's like, oh, we're gonna go watch Garden Massacre part 2. And it's like,
I don't think you've seen the new Scream movie, right?
I haven't. No.
This is a slight not a spoiler, but like obviously you got the Stab movies.
Oh, I know about Stab. Yeah.
So in the latest Scream, they're up to Stab 8. And it's just
wow.
Ghostface with 2 machetes, and he's like swinging them around.
I'm in.
Yeah,
Is it Danny Trejo the whole time?
It might as well be.
I'm in. I need to watch that. I don't know why.
It's good. It's worth it.
It's probably streaming on one of those other streaming sites I refuse to pay for.
It's on Paramount Plus.
I was gonna say, is it on Paramount? Because that's the one I refuse to get. I'm
really
not
bad
doing
app.
it. I'm not getting it. That's essentially NBC. I don't want it. I'm not paying for it. I don't care. I'm not doing it.
Too many streaming services.
Yeah, right. And I got Tubi for free. Don't tell me you guys have to make all this freaking money. Tubi's free. I'll watch Tubi all day long.
Bless you, Tubi, in the world of podcasting. Just bless you. Which this was not on Tubi, which was kind of surprising.
I know. I have the Shout Factory Blu-ray, and I got into the house late because we were doing the live stream. It was like after 10, and I was like, are we going to try and watch this? And Jackie's like, I don't know. Do you want? I said, see if it's on Tubi, because I don't want to walk out to the shop to go get my copy. And
I
she's
love
like,
that. Like, in the world of our laziness, I'm the same way. I'm like, is it streaming? Because I really don't want to go in the other room just to, like, hunt down the DVD.
Lee, yeah, you're still in the same house. I would probably go to another room. I don't want to walk across
Yeah, you gotta walk
property
outside
in the dark with my flip-flops on. Find
where
my
the
keys
blob
to the
can
shop.
get you.
Blob's outside, man. You never know. The Blob's outside. But no, and it wasn't streaming, so I waited. I watched it. I've seen this movie. I can't tell you how many times anyway. But I like being fresh for the podcast, so I watched it right before we started recording. I was like, this is as fresh as I can get, boys. But no, I love this movie. And it's like, I don't even really want to go through every kill, but damn it, man, like every kill,
really great kills
are
like,
amazing.
The 2 teenagers on like Makeout Lane, you know.
Oh, the girl
like,
from Under Siege, Erica.
Is she really?
Yeah. You know that?
Did not know that.
Yep.
Didn't recognize her.
That is Miss July from
89.
Under Siege. Yeah, Miss July, which is fun. This year after. Yeah, she is Erica Leniak. I don't know how you say her last name.
Didn't know that.
Yep, she's the girl that gets date raped, I guess, or almost date raped.
So disgusting, but what a payoff of it. She was dead, and I did not remember like the tentacles popping out, her whole face like sinking in with the ooey-gooey bloodiness
Yeah.
and just devouring the other guy.
That's because in the TV edit, he
Just cut
unbuttons a
to the
couple.
outside
Yeah.
of the car and the scream.
He doesn't even get his hand in her blouse. He just gets it unbuttoned and you see him reach, and then it cuts to the outside of the car scene. So yeah, that's the television edit of this. What you didn't see was her face just get like completely sucked to the back of her head. And yeah, excellent kill in this movie though. I love
It
that.
is fantastic. I mean, obviously our hero, White Prince Kevin Dillon, gets blamed for all the murders.
Right?
Which,
yeah, of course.
Just because he's the local, like, they don't even explain why he's like the local punk or that he's always causing mischief. Yeah,
he's the hooligan. Yeah.
like the 80s was obsessed with having that bad boy character, but none of them were ever capable of topping John Bender.
No, I mean, but again, it's a remake of a 50s trope though, which would have been like
which
the
would have been
greaser
the Greasers,
style,
yeah.
Stuff like that. And that works. I mean, they play up on it, and we're gonna make fun of how he looks in this, but I do like Kevin Dillon, I really do, But God, you're just watching this going, man, I don't see how he's going to be the hero in this. He's really not either. Shawnee ends up being the hero.
Oh yeah, she is fantastic throughout this whole thing.
She takes the personification of Ellen Ripley at the end of this movie. It's like, bring it, you son of a bitch! Here we go, let's dance. I was loving that. My other favorite character in this movie, and it has ties to the action side, but Paul McCrane, and people are like, who is Paul McCrane? Well, the melted guy from RoboCop is the deputy in this movie that's hassling Kevin Dillon 90%
That's where
of the
he
time.
looked familiar.
Yeah, he's Emil from RoboCop.
It was taking me forever. I was like, why is this guy looking so familiar? But I didn't look him up.
Well, he has a mustache in this one. That'll do it to anybody.
Oh, now, yeah.
Put that mustache on, no one will ever know. And he melts in RoboCop, so you're almost watching this going, are they going to melt him again? No, he gets snapped in half.
Oh,
which I loved.
He gets bent backwards and shoved through a bookcase. But there is, I like to think, a little homage to him in this movie from RoboCop.
Oh, Eddie?
Because we get this poor little kid in the sewer who gets completely yanked away, and Shawnee Smith goes swimming for him. And then when he pops back up out of the water with his hands up and he is completely melted, I instantly went,
dude.
RoboCop. And I was like, I can't believe they just did that to a child in this movie.
That is the other thing that they turn on its ear in this movie, where they go, hey, we're killing a kid.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen a lot.
No, I was completely shocked, especially the 80s. We are
Yeah.
talking, this is the time period of where the MPAA is completely against Jason. Like, we learned that when we were doing part 7 of Friday the 13th.
Right, yeah. They
And
neutered
the fact that
that
they
entire
let
movie.
this go through.
How? I'm still with you, man. Why? This had way more gore than most Jason movies. And it's like, how did this one get out then? Like, who knew who to allow them to do this level of gore? This, I mean, and
it just further goes to show they know nothing about what they're doing. They're just all fluff.
The weird thing about this movie, though, is it's not incredibly bloody, though.
It's
gory, and it's brutal.
Gory, it's ooey and gooey like we love.
Yeah.
But they're all memorable. Every single one of them is.
There's not a kill on here that really goes wasted.
Even if it's just a civilian on the street getting, like, basically slid over.
Oh, when he slaps his tentacle on the ground.
Like the sticky hand that you get from a quarter machine.
And he lifts the tentacle up and the body is attached to his, like, the Wile E. Coyote from Roadrunner stuck to his tentacle. I lose my shit every time. It's hilarious. He's like, whoop, reek, there he is, still attached. I'm absorbing this guy. He's picking up soldiers at the end like they're candy. And
Yeah.
yeah, rum, nom, nom, nom.
It
The
even
one-
has like a graboid type mouth in the sewer when it is
Oh, yeah.
attempting to eat Shawnee Smith. And I was like, I don't remember it even having that.
I think that was in it. I can't remember every single. I haven't watched it on television since probably as a teenager. But like you said, it's real easy to remember where we're like, oh, I don't remember that on television, you know. So it's easy to see in the kills now where you're like, yeah, you had to cut there.
Because some of these movies
and
you
I
never
remember
got to
that.
rent at the video store. You only got to see when
Oh,
it
you only
came
saw
on
the
either
box.
based on Fox, you know?
Yeah, yeah. Because again, some video places didn't get it. They're like, yeah, no one's going to rent this, or it was too expensive to rent. You know, the studio had to make its money back somehow when it only made $8 million off of $19 million.
Though I guarantee if I would have been in that movie theater, I would have left a very happy camper.
Oh, I wish I could have seen, especially because there's a movie theater scene in this. You know, I love that kind of thing though, where it's
Yeah, like when Gremlins did it, you know.
exactly a Gremlins 2 where they're messing with the film and Hulk Hogan jumps up. Hey, don't make me come up there. They're playing Snow White and the Seven Dwarves or some shit. Oh, well, man, we've been yammering about everything about this movie, and we need to play a commercial. So let me and Nate kind of regroup here. I'm not guaranteeing that's going to happen. And,
I'm getting further off the ledge.
I think he's on the ledge. All right, we'll be right back.
We'll be back following these messages.
Hello! Welcome to 100 Horrors, a comedy podcast that seeks to rank the best 100 horror films of all time, as dictated to us by a poster that one of us owns.
Every week, we bicker over another film in an attempt to give it an overall scare factor and secure its place in the 100 Horrors list.
With features such as...
But at least I won't die like that. And...
What would you say to them at the funeral?
We take a light-hearted approach to horror cinema so that it can be enjoyed by even the most squeamish of listeners.
So whether you're the person who's never seen a horror film in their life, or the person who has a tattoo of Leatherface on the right arse cheek, there's something to be enjoyed in every episode of 100 Horrors.
From the masters of the universe, Hordak reveals the most gruesome trap ever. Welcome to the slime pit.
The what?
The slime pit.
Now, Spike, you're my slave, not the slime. Yes, my slime will overpower you. I've been slime. No one escapes the evil horde slime pit.
The evil horde slime pit. New from the masters of the universe. You put it together. Figures sold separately from Mattel.
Do you like horror movies?
Do you like hanging out with your friends?
Do you like having a laugh?
Do you like podcasts?
Well, you should check out our podcast, Spoils of Horror.
We're not a review show.
We're a horror movie hangout where we talk about movies that are lost, forgotten, popular, and bizarre, all in the scary realm.
You can listen to our podcast while you're doing just about anything.
You could be washing your dishes.
You could be washing your cat.
You could be washing your genitals. All forms of genitals accepted.
We are a fully inclusive genitalia show.
Yes, we are the #1 ideal podcast for washing your genitals.
Our genital Yelp reviews are unsurpassed.
5.5 stars.
You don't want to know where that half came from.
Now that you know that, check us out on all major platforms.
You can search for Spoils of Horror on all social media sites.
Come and hang out with us. We'd love to see you.
And your genitals.
Bye.
Welcome back.
Nate, you gonna behave now?
No.
Okay. Just trying to figure out where I need to be at here. That's trying to figure out what version of Nate I'm getting tonight.
You never know.
I never do. I really don't. But so we got to the theater part, which I we're talking about the Gardener movie, which I love. But again, another fantastic kill in this movie from the projectionist attached to the ceiling.
How did they stretch his face?
Dude,
How did they do? I do not know how they do.
How did they do any of these things, man? He is the freaking yo-yo. Again, there's that little bit of comedy where the yo-yo falls down and then the tentacles come down on top of the other guy like yo-yos. It's all playing on this whole thing, but the horrifying look on that face that's melting into the ceiling, it's insane.
And then it's like 5 minutes later, we get another melted face where when the blob is actually attacking the theater viewers themselves.
Yeah.
And one of the girls' face is stuck
to the carpet,
the floor, to the carpet, like a piece of gum.
Have you ever
on your
walked
shoe.
on a Have you ever walked on the theater floor?
I thought you were about to ask if I ever walked on a person's face and then like got it stuck to the bottom of my shoe.
That is so freaking weird. Why would you even go there?
I thought that's where you were going. I was like, no, of course not. That's murder.
A theater with sticky floors. I was going to say, I don't even think the blob did that. I think she just fell face first on the floor
and then
it was stuck.
It's all that butter.
Way to make it morbid, Nate. I have never stepped on anyone's face. That's murder.
No, you don't step on faces.
Murder. What the hell is wrong with you? Jesus. Save this man. God.
It can't be done.
I know. We've tried exorcisms. It doesn't work. Oh, that reminds me. For those of you that still haven't joined us over in the group, or at least told us you're in the group, somebody shared a really messed up little post. I think it might even been today. They were talking about some weird, like, Italian or Argentinian horror movie, and they were like, they had to stop production a few times because the actress who played the ghost got possessed and they had to perform a couple of exorcisms on the actress.
That is how you market a movie.
And I'm just like, once would also disturb me, but they said a couple times. Like, yeah, it didn't take.
That's the equivalent of, you'll need a barf bag for when you see this movie. Oh, when you see this movie, you'll see an actually possessed actor.
I was like, wow, she's really good. That's what I can imagine.
As her
the
neck
director
is twisting to the back and her spine is going upside down.
He's over there tapping the special effects guy on the back going, you're doing a great job over there. He goes, I haven't done
and
it
the
yet.
Special effects guy is like sweating like, oh God, oh God, oh God, oh God.
I was like, so yeah, see, that's what you're missing out if you're not in the group, man. I was like, that just saying that exorcism thing, I was like, that was kind of disturbing. Is we had to stop production a couple times because she got possessed.
Got to keep the on-set reverend.
I love the reverend in this, man. And
what an odd character that I was not expecting at all.
And it pays off. So I think there's a reverend in the original. So they're kind of playing off on that character line. But I don't think he does anything like at the end of this one where he still has the blob in the jar. But I love like the burn effect because he doesn't actually die. He gets caught on fire during the flamethrower scene. And that's why he's all
their
deformed.
Flamethrowers. Always got to have a flamethrower budget. I still think we need to bring them back.
I'm 100% behind flamethrowers, man.
They're not in movies enough. John Wick 4. Give it to us.
John Wick 4, flamethrowers. I've seen actual flamethrowers in use. Not in war or anything. It was a demonstration, so don't take anything I say out of context. But they had like vintage, like Vietnam era flamethrowers, and they do demonstrations with them. So they don't hand those licenses out too easily. So it was cool. It's not like the movies. It's really not. There was literally a section where they had everything fenced off, And it's like, that's the melt section. So if you really want to feel the heat, you stand there.
So
And
instead
then
of the splash zone at like a
yeah, exactly. It was
bloody theater experience, this is the
we stood in the melt zone,
the
and
melt zone.
they're not kidding. It was hot. And they don't last as long as they do in movies. It's literally like 10 seconds worth of
I don't think
pressure.
you really need it that long. It's going to do what it needs to do in those 10 seconds.
It's honestly probably the most terrifying weapon ever used. You know, everything else is quick. That's
quick. Horrific. Yeah.
Well, since you went morbid, I guess it was my turn to go morbid.
Yeah, melted flesh.
Stepping on faces and flamethrowers.
Just another day at the office of give me back my horror movies.
That's right, man. We're here to bring you all the ooey-gooey, bloody goriness. And
this is one Pete should join us on, but he's on vacation this week.
Yeah, Pete taking his dang vacation. Like it's like
sorry everyone, they got a Pete-less month in August. But
it's
you're
been
about
a
to
month.
get a lot of Pete in September.
I'm hoping. We're hoping. Fingers crossed.
Pending schedule.
Fingers crossed.
There's an asterisk there.
There's always an asterisk on this show. Hopefully we get our Pete back. I miss Pete. I really do.
Mm-hmm.
Pete, call us. Let us know you're okay.
Yeah, email us, Pete.
He will. I better check, make sure we don't have one waiting. All right, Nate, where do we go next while I check our email?
Well, one of the things I think it's interesting is as we see this blob grow further and further in the movie, one of the evil scientists mentions this thing could take out the U.S. in a week if we don't stop it. While one of the other scientists, as it turns out, this was man-made, and it was actually a germ warfare to be able to take out our enemies, as always.
Yeah, it's inside. So I did love this reveal. So when the quotation mark meteor crashes at the beginning of the movie, it looks like a rock. It looks like a meteor that's been cracked open. It's glowing, everything you expect. Well, when Kevin Dillion and Shawnee Smith arrive at the camp, they're all the scientists are around it. Then we get that whole thing where, we're going to take you to town. Kevin Dillon's like, nah, screw you, I'm out. He sneaks back onto the camp and watches them lift the meteorite out of the ground, and it comes out burnt on top, but the bottom is all metal. It is a satellite from space that they were doing experiments with.
Yeah, they launched it in there to see what they could do. And now it's gotten loose unexpectedly, and they're pretty much willing to sacrifice this entire town to
at least
save.
The one guy is the main scientist, and I like this guy too, because the way he plays off at first is very.
He's the most gentle soul human being in the beginning. He is so much like, oh, thank you so much for being here and for showing us this. Like,
Dr. Meadows, played by Joe Seneca, and I'm like, he's like Santa Claus. That's what this guy feels like whenever you first meet him. And then he turns, and he's like the most cold-hearted son of a bitch in the movie. Above all the other military dudes that are like hardened guys, this guy's worse, because he's telling them to shoot him towards the end of the movie. Kevin Dillon's getting ready to spill the beans to like the cop and some townspeople. Like, let him tell them then, because then you just wipe out the whole town. Who gives a shit?
You're gonna let the blob eat everyone anyway, so he can just say whatever he wants. It doesn't matter.
Like, it's an order. Shoot him. And he tries to grab the gun himself, and then the blob eats him in his most epic comeuppance.
He gets it really well.
Oh, the blob's in his, like, the suit don't mean shit, boys. That blob was in your suit.
Yeah, and then you just see it like go where the face shield is, and then that's it for him.
Effect, man.
Yeah,
I like to imagine it was just like this big air bladder, and then whenever it got to that scene, they just hit that air compressor and it filled up his face.
Definitely had to have.
Again, practical effects for like 99% of this movie. And good camera tricks. I mean, there are some parts where you watch it on high def that the overlays and stuff are.
Oh, it's like the old Godzilla movies where you can tell where they filmed something in the background and they superimpose it.
Exactly. Yeah. The diner was the worst.
Yeah, when they're running away from the blob and it's on the ceiling.
But it felt so much like the 1958 though, because
Exactly, and that's why it was great. Like, it
I almost
wasn't
think
like
they did it.
cheesy or stupid. I was like, no, like this works.
I think that particular scene though, compared to all the others, that they did that on purpose though.
Oh,
I
it had
really
to have,
feel like
'cause, like-
that was an homage back to 58 right there.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely how you do classic old school horror movie, and this movie has that wink and nod the whole time. It's fun.
Yeah. I mean, the movie starts with not so much starts, but eventually we get Shawnee where she's in her room staring at a snow globe. So I mean, we immediately get how they defeat the Blob foreshadowed pretty early.
Oh yeah,
And then
definitely.
they go in a freezer. It doesn't like the cold. They use fire extinguishers, which again don't last as long as they ever do in the movies. There's not that much stuff in them. And they happen to be in a town that's like a skiing town, so they have trucks that blow.
Well, it's the
snow.
80s. You always gotta have a ski resort.
Always a ski resort, but it hasn't been a measurable snow here in years, man. I don't know what you're talking about. It's October and it was like hot or whatever the month it was.
I don't even remember.
Yeah.
I do say, did you realize when the people get like melted by the Blob, what did they remind you of?
What did they remind me of?
Yeah, was there anything specific that came to your mind?
Just looked like melted goo to me half the time, but they did kind of look like the dude Cropsy from The Burning a little
They
bit.
did a little bit. But
Yeah.
you know what? You ever stick a bunch of peeps in a microwave?
No.
A, I don't recommend doing it. But B, if you do, this is what the Blob kind of turns a person into: is you just stick a shit ton of peeps into a microwave and let it melt, and that becomes the ooey-gooiness.
I just eat them. Why would I put them in a microwave?
Oh, because they melt and turn really cool.
Till mom yells at you for messing up the microwave?
It was my own microwave.
It was your own microwave. I love peeps.
I didn't use that microwave after that, though. I think I was moving out, and me and my buddy wanted to see what happens if we put a bunch of peeps in it.
Yeah, I'm not surprised at all.
I'm just
about
surprised
that.
you have not wanted to just throw a bunch of peeps in a microwave. Get one. Go to Goodwill.
And get peeps? Why would I want Goodwill
No,
peeps?
you go Goodwill, you get like a $5 microwave, then you go get peeps and you throw them in it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to do that.
All right, guess you don't want to spend your $5 like a cool guy.
Like I said, I'd rather eat the peeps. I don't even think peeps are in season right now.
No, they're not.
Oh.
But like, what's an August peep?
I don't know.
A Labor Day peep?
There's already Halloween candy at Walmart, so
Are the pumpkins out? Are the Reese pumpkins out?
Yeah, I saw the white ones the other day. So
nice.
Yeah.
That means the Monster Mash cereal is going to be coming out. Give me some blueberry.
I think us as a society that eventually every holiday stuff we love is just going to be available year round. Like, forget this whole thing of starting it earlier and earlier. Just leave it out year round. That's all.
That way I can have my blueberry year round.
That's right. Spirit Halloween, leave them open all year round.
That way I always have new and fresh dishware. Basically, just cups.
It's house decorations here. I mean, not holiday. It's just house decorations.
It's there. Yeah,
that's right. Where are we at again? We're doing the Blob.
We're
What's
basically
happening?
at the end.
We are at the Ellen Ripley, Shawnee Smith ending.
Hell yeah, we are.
Grabs an M16, starts shooting at the Blob, which we all know doesn't hurt it, but damn it, does it react? It doesn't like being shot.
If anything, all it does is go, all right, who did that?
Now
you piss me off.
He's like, stop it. Stop. Okay, fine.
I'm going to melt you so hard.
It's like, yeah, let's go after the one person shooting at me, not the building full of people I can eat. But they go to the wrecked snowblower truck, and she sets a bomb, gets her foot stuck, of course. So Kevin Dillion technically saves her, but she's the one that actually
she's the one that saves the day.
She saves the day at the end of this. It blows up, and they all turn into little blobsicles.
Yeah, little blob ice cubes.
Which
Gotta love liquid nitrogen in the 80s and early 90s with Terminator 2.
It was food colored rock salt is what they used as the frozen blob at the end. All right, boys, let's get the dump trucks. Let's get her into the ice house. I love how that's just one microscopic piece of that could potentially turn back into a blob.
Exactly. Like if that whole thing does not get covered, we're right back to where we started.
Are we out there with everyone's shop vacs from their garages and they're vacuuming the street down? You know, there's not a
and
little.
Then there's gonna be that one jackass guy that doesn't clean out his shop vac, so then it's gonna, like defrost
It's stuck in
there.
It's stuck in the filter.
Yeah.
It said wet dry vac.
What do you mean these things get filled?
It becomes possessed like the toaster in Ghostbusters 2, and it starts dancing to the radio that's on in the garage. That's how it ends. Instead of the preacher who had a tiny little frozen piece of it, which may I remind everyone, when he picks those up, there's like 3 or 4 more on the floor of the freezer. There's still blob floating around that town.
Yeah, you're not getting rid of the blob at all.
The
This
electric
is gonna be
had to have gone out.
Something the town just has to live with. Like, it's the season of the blob again.
It's blobby
We just
season.
gotta wait till it's December for it to get cold and freeze the blob.
Has everybody got your fire extinguishers charged? That's what the fire department does. They don't
Yeah,
have
that's what
fires
they come
anymore. You know, it's all about blob. It's blob season instead of the fire season. All right, movie's done.
Movie's over with.
I love this
the
movie.
Reverend, has that jar that somehow it doesn't break out of, and movie's over.
It's tiny. He's a very tiny blobby. You know, he's not as strong as Big Blobby. But yeah, he's at a tent revival. Everyone's like, he's
talking about the end of the world, and
basically
soon
he thinks,
it will come.
Yeah, the blob is one of the apocalypse type things, and it's
Yeah.
going to be his job to re-release. And there was supposed to be sequels.
That's the thing.
But-
I'm like, give me a sequel now. Don't do CGI, or if you
That's the
do, use
problem.
it to enhance it.
I'm
But this
I'm-
movie ends perfectly to say that Reverend, this is 30 years later, he now dies of old age. Someone uncovers that jar and accidentally
there's
unleashes it.
a perfect way to do it without remaking it.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
exactly.
terrified of. Don't remake it. You
Continue
can
it.
literally do a sequel to 1988 Blob, and it would be fine. Just do it. You know, where are we at? Was that 1988? How old are you, Nate?
I turned 34 this year, so this movie turns 34 in a couple weeks.
So
because it came out in
technically
August.
We're past the 30, because 58 and then 88 this came out, so we can't quite do the 30 anniversary of it. But you can make it land on an 8. We can do like 2028 and do Blob 2. You know, I would be down for that. But do not remake it. Period.
No. And once again, you could bring back Kevin Dillion and Shawnee Smith and being like, hey,
100%.
we defeated this one time before, but now you make it so it's like, well, this is a mutated variant. It survived the cold, so it now knows to adapt to that. You have to figure out a new way to kill it.
Right. Yeah. No, I like that.
Steven
I
Seagal has
would
to
be-
fight it.
Yeah, Steven Seagal. I had to fight the Blob. Aren't you the Blob? Don't you ever say that again.
Don't you ever say that to me again. I'll
Steven
snap you
Seagal
in
is
half.
the Blob. Steven Seagal is the Blob.
This is the big comeback I've always wanted.
Everyone's like, why are we talking about Steven Seagal? Well, we already talked about Under Siege earlier in the episode.
I'm the Steve McQueen character, right?
I get to be young Kevin Dillon. Why would you be young Kevin Dillon? We have
Because I'm young Kevin Dillon now. I get a motorcycle. The Blob gets a motorcycle.
Has he ever been on a motorcycle in a movie? That's weird.
I don't know.
I don't know if Steven Seagal's ever been on a motorcycle in a movie. Why are we talking about Steven Seagal? Why?
I don't
What
know.
are we? We're talking about everything except the Blob. What's
we're not.
happening? Yes, we are. All right. Whatever. Okay. Let's do our things. I'm doing the thing. I'm not even saying which one it is.
Click,
We're just
clickety
doing it.
things.
I'm clicking it. All right, man. It's our raining blood time. So this
I'm
one,
very curious to see how many people get axed in this movie.
So I was reading the IMDb trivia, as I always do, because sometimes they put the body count in there. They said 19.
That
maybe
seems
they
low.
That's what I said. So, and below it, they go, well, maybe some more people possibly died in the theater. And I'm like, that's still way too low. So I went and found one of the videos that count as it goes. It's 31. 31 on
That seems
screen.
still low to me, but makes sense. I feel like there's more people in the town or in the theater that get killed that we don't see.
Yeah. So this was, you saw it on screen, like picking up the soldiers going down the street, slapping its tentacle down. The theater scene, there's even some people like just laying on the ground, not moving. They're dead or stuck to the floor, like the one lady.
Yeah, they're all stuck to the floor with the butter.
Sticky floors. No, but 31 was a lot more digestible than 19. I was like, there's no way it's only 19 in this movie. That's shenanigans. So, no, IMDb was wrong. So 31, man, 31. So
suck it, independent movie database.
Or it's whoever uploaded it. It wasn't actually them.
Suck it to that person.
Let's get to the most difficult segment of this particular movie on this show.
Oh boy, there's a lot to choose from this week on our Kill of the Week.
What do you think? Zombie Kill of the Week?
I hit that way too early. Hold on.
That's fine.
What do you think? Zombie Kill of the Week?
Bubba, I have struggled with this one.
I feel like, for me, I don't think I struggled as much because as soon as I saw the kill and the movie wasn't even over with yet, I went, this is it. There's no way you're going to top it.
So, I don't know. I'm supposed to go first on the horror stuff. I haven't talked about this kill, but I've also noticed you haven't talked about this kill. And there's others that need the light shown on them a little bit, and we kind of did that as we talked. You know, when Eddie the kid dies, it is a split-second scene, but if you pause on the point where Eddie is covered in the blob, it is horrific looking.
Oh, it's terrifying.
It is.
The whole sewer scene is great horror. It's intense.
It really
it's fast-paced. You truly do believe Shawnee Smith is not going to make it.
Watch out for the rat. What rat? I mean, I loved every bit of that. You know, but so we talked about they actually killed a kid in this, which is amazing. I love the guy stuck to the ceiling in the movie theater scene. Just that whole segment there. Paul dying at the beginning with the blob rolling over his face. Insane. But my kill of the week is the dishwasher in the diner getting sucked into the drain.
Same here, man. Same.
I knew it. I knew we both
I didn't
skipped
even want
it
to
for
talk
a
about it
reason.
because I wanted to
No.
save it for this.
You jumped to phone booth, which we didn't really talk. I love that scene in the phone booth, though, where it rushes in on her. And, dude, it's like an Instacut. Like, I swear it's her, but when the blob hits her, it's the mannequin that's distorting her body.
Yeah.
But they edited it so well that I'm like, for a second, you're like, what did I just watch? That was amazing. But this guy getting sucked into the drain and not the way you're expecting it to happen. The drain's clogged, so he gets a plunger, all this other stuff. And then he has to do the one thing every human being on the planet hates to do.
Oh,
what is that, Nate?
It terrifies me to reach my hand into the sink. And I always have to do it when I'm loading the dishwasher because I want to make sure no spoon fell into the garbage disposal or a knife or something like that. And even though the switch for it is super far away, it is a horrific feeling of sticking my hand down there going, oh boy, I'll never be able to play video games if this goes wrong.
That's the Final Destination generation in us right there.
Yeah.
Bro. That's really what it is. But
that's where my cat accidentally goes and paws the switch.
Oh shit, I never thought about that. Our cat loves that spot of the sink counter.
Same.
Oh God. Gunner's going to make me lose my hand. So he reaches his hand into this thing, and you're like, okay, it's going to grab his hand. That's what you immediately are like, I know what's coming. I know what's coming. No, he pulls his hand back out, looks at his fingers and goes, what's this? And the blob shoots up out and grabs his freaking face and
then
pulls
yanks him
head first into the
and
sink.
you see the head go into the
Go.
sink. So that means that head gets like squished, like pulverized essentially.
Yeah. Well,
as
it's like
down.
it's like dissolving too. So you have to
Yeah.
remember it dissolves, but it liquefies him almost. Then it cuts to the lady walking in, realizing it. This dude's body is standing up on end, like in the thing when it bites the one dude's head and stands up, and he's just flailing
and his
out
feet
the top.
are dangling.
And it cuts back to Kevin Dillon and Shawnee. They run in, and all we see are feet sticking up out of the sink. And their blood. This is the bloodiest scene, really.
It's
because there's
bloody,
blood everywhere.
And here's what I love about this scene. As his legs are dangling just outside of the sinkhole, so is his arm.
Yeah.
So he has been completely pretzeled inside of the sink with his arm and legs being in the same exact spot. Absolutely brutal.
You see the pipe expand as it's pulling him down through the drain. And I was watching the interview, and they were like, this literally it took every trick we had. It's almost every kill gag to pull this off. And it is a masterpiece of a kill in a movie that has amazing kills in it.
But this one sticks out. Even when after he is finally sucked all the way in, you're waiting for like a classic like burp and then like an Evil Dead 2 amount of blood to spray out.
That's
but
exactly
the blob
what I was waiting on.
doesn't do that because how it eats you and like absorbs you. The blob itself comes out of the sink and latches onto the ceiling above.
Which
and
is where we get that
is
classic
great.
shot. Yeah. I mean, and that's right where we get that classic shot that reminds you of the 58 version. It's just so well, and this is the director's favorite kill as well. He's
Is
like,
it? Nice.
This is my favorite kill.
It's just absolutely fantastic.
And the only reason I bring up any of the other ones, like, knowing how they did Paul's death was it was all practical and he's in the blob. That's amazing. Half of the dude, being on the table, it's gory as all get out, but it's ooey-gooey gory. And the guy hanging from the ceiling, it's the face. It's the face of that guy.
Yeah, it's just the way that
crying
they made these
in
models
pain.
look.
Yeah. Love it. But dude getting sucked into the drink. So we're samesies again. That tells you how good
I would
the
have it
kill
no
is.
other way with this movie.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, all right, man, let's rate this thing.
Guys, it's okay. He just wanted his machete back. Woo!
Okay, horror. I get to go.
You do. Go first.
8.5.
Oh,
8.5, man. There's nothing. This is quite possibly one, and listen to how I say this, one of the best remakes. And I say one of because The Thing is probably the best horror remake, in my opinion, of the original Thing. But this movie is right there. I mean, to me, it's almost neck and neck. Acting wise is probably going to go more movie wise to The Thing. But if I just base it off of the effects, the look of the movie, the feel of the movie, I'd love to watch these back to back. They just have that good feel because, to beat the blob, you have to freeze him. But if you drop him off in Antarctica, you got to deal with the Thing. So,
my God, The Thing versus the Blob.
Oh, that would be insane.
How did that movie not get made?
Different.
Eventually, they learn if they team up, they'll become unstoppable.
Right? Yeah. I mean, the sequel, it would have Shawnee Smith, but we don't realize she's actually the Thing. She's been taken over. Yeah. Because they're an actual alien, and the blob isn't an alien, so the Thing alien comes back to get the blob. They're like, we like the cut of your jib. We got a job for you.
Damn it, I told you I'm retired. All right, I'll do it.
Man, I'm pushing 50. I can't be doing this shit anymore, man. That's back to middle-aged Blobby.
Yeah.
I got a wife and kids now.
I told you I'm out.
Just reabsorb them and come with. Make it a family adventure. That's just weird. All right, Nate, what do you rate this thing? I'm an 8.5.
I'm right there with you, man. 8.5.
We're
This movie's
twinsies.
just a blast.
Oh
It's
my
a
God.
crisp hour and a half, but this feels like a 2-hour long movie, and I don't mean that in a bad way. I
No,
mean that
not
in the
at all.
best way. It fits so much in its very tight and compact runtime.
If
And-
anything, I would love a little bit longer shots on some of the kills.
Yeah.
I mean, really, if I wanted to add a little bit more, give me more carnage in the street, because I'm begging for more as he's smacking people around. Like, he smacks the one army dude and he pulls the grenades off, and you're like, yeah, this is gonna be awesome. And it's basically just a poof. And then that's all it is. It's just poof.
But this movie is fun. Like, I had such a blast. Like, this is 2 movies in a row where I'm like, I needed these.
Oh,
Between
absolutely.
Blind Fury and now this, this movie did everything that you could want for an Ooey-Gooey movie. You know? And it just kept it going. It somehow kept finding a way to outdo itself with each kill. Even though the
It kept
sequel
ramping up.
is very
Yeah.
early, it keeps ramping up just as the Blob should, because it's getting bigger and bigger.
Mhm.
I loved
The
it.
movie's the movie's, that's a good way to put it. The movie's getting bigger and bigger as it goes. So it's
and
just,
that's why I'm totally down for a sequel to this. Like, that is exactly why. And like, it shocks me that this movie was written by Frank Darabont, but it doesn't, because the man is responsible for 2 of the greatest movies of all time, with The Shawshank Redemption and The Green Mile. So knowing that that man did 2 of the most beautifully made movies of all time, and to do this kind of, it's not sleazy, it's not trashy.
No.
But
There's
it's
there's no
silly
nudity
humor.
in this.
It's silly horror.
There's zero nudity in this. There's one sleazy scene.
Yeah.
And he gets his comeuppance in it. But there's no nudity in this. And like I said, this isn't a bloody movie. This isn't that kind of gore. This is slime. This is body.
It's definitely going to gross you out.
Oh, don't eat when you watch this movie. Even now, I was like, I don't really want to eat while I watch this. It has that effect. It's not quite the custard scene in Brain Dead, but it's close. It's close. But as much as we love it, though, Nate, you had to do the dirty.
There is a trash opinion in this world for the Blob.
You had to plunge your hand into that dirty sink to find.
I had to reach on in, and there was a hairball, and I had to pull that out.
Wiggle your fingers a little bit to kind of break it up. Is that what you did?
I'm the trash man. I come out, I throw trash all over the ring, and then I start eating garbage. And then I pick up the trash can and I smash the guy on the head.
Oh, that's gonna be a disaster.
That hairball is known as Jacabuia, who said,
"Did it have an explanation? Did it have explanation points? Please tell me it had explanation. Did that name have explanation points? Because the way you said it tells me it had explanation points.
How to pronounce it? They gave it a 2 out of 10 back in 2009, saying this is disappointing and mean too. I watched this film 20 years ago and loved it then. Finally got a hold of a DVD version and watched it again. What a disappointment. Guess my perspective has changed over the years. Found it badly directed, even for a B movie. The plot does not keep you interested throughout. Too much of the action takes place either on the mountains or in the sewers. The killings by the Blob get to be boring. I particularly dislike this time around that some very good people get killed. People I thought would be trying to nail the Blob. The last killing was particularly unnecessary and annoying. Guess the producers had a very mean streak in them with all these killing of good people. Still like the ending, though, but overall very disappointed with the film, although the special effects were good.
You don't get to say that. You don't get to bash the kills and then go the special effects were good.
Yeah, the kills are the special effects. What I find interesting, though, is our whole thing here at Give Me Back My Horror Movies and Action Movies is reflecting on something that we haven't seen in over 20 years, or reflecting on something that, we do watch periodically, but not as much. And how our perspective does change on a movie. But then there's also a movie like this where it's like, no, I remember liking this movie as a kid. And if anything, I love it even more as an adult.
So exactly. So like you said, we just did Blind Fury, which it's a dumb movie, but I love every second of it. Then we do The Blob, which is just ooey-gooey, over-the-top fun. And while these are the two movies you watched, I got to watch a movie for the live stream. I watched Flash Gordon this week. So I have been riding this cloud of high
of just cheesy
just
fun,
loving these movies that I'm watching. And you're right, it's all just cheesy fun goodness, movies not taking themselves seriously, cult classics as far as I'm concerned for the most part. I knew it would be hard to find bad. Okay. There's always bad reviews. I'm going to say that now. Obviously, we find them. But a truly bad review of someone that does have some sense to them when they're talking about a film, to find something bad, I don't think there's that many out there. You're going to find assholes that just want to hear themselves talk, or just, I typed this, so it's so bad. This is so stupid. Just shut up. Nothing you said makes sense, and we're all dumber for having to hear it. That's that person. That's Jabuki, whatever, 97. I don't even know what their name was now. Explanation point.
They just punched their keyboard, and that's how they got their name.
Yeah, it's how they did their review, too.
Oh, it is.
I'm done ranting now.
All right. Are you done?
I'm done.
Okay.
I'm done. Are we done? Is that the last bit?
Yeah, I think that's it. I think we have done it. I got to go to Days of the Dead. I didn't get to talk about that in Indy.
Yeah, that's right. You did.
Yeah.
You also got to run into people that made me mad.
Yeah, I did. I got to meet James and Bobby, the creators of H.P. Lovecraft's Witch House, that we did an interview with for the first time. Actually getting to meet them face to face. It was fantastic. Big old hugs were given.
Bullcrap. It's bullcrap.
I'm sorry, Charlie. Indiana's just so far away from you.
They're my friends too.
It was only 2 hours away from me.
They're my friends too, Nate.
They are your friends, and they wanted they wanted to see you. They did. They miss you. They want to meet you.
I don't know.
And then I got to meet. Well, I've already met. I got to hang out with Derek for a little bit, who we have had on the show twice now, with our Watchdog interview of L.C. Holt, and for the Late Checkout interview that we did with Derek.
That pissed me off too. I don't like it.
I also got to be 2 feet away from Bill Moseley, but I didn't get a picture or anything with them. I was not feeling the talking to any celebrities kind of thing.
Bill Moseley was in this movie.
I saw that, and I do not recognize him anywhere in this movie.
It's because he's in one of the contamination suits. He was
awesome.
Sewer Soldier number 2.
It's fantastic.
So you wouldn't really know he's in it, but he is in it. So it's funny you even brought that up. That is like, yeah, Bill Moseley's in this movie.
He was there. Who I was like, maybe, and Ken Foray from Beyond.
Yeah, I probably would have tried to see him.
Now, there is a convention coming up in Pittsburgh in a couple weeks. The legend himself, John Carpenter, is going to be there.
Really?
And I don't know if I'm going to make it or not, but
wow,
if I do, that'll be a big one.
It has to be expensive though.
Yeah, it's like $125 for just a photo op.
That's not terrible.
It's not terrible. I mean,
not for John Carpenter.
Exactly.
I mean, that's bad for some person that's only been in like 4 movies. You're talking about one of the godfathers of horror.
Exactly. Like that's what's tempting me right now. It's just like, this could be the one chance to actually get to meet John Carpenter, because he does not do cons anymore.
Oh, he don't do movies.
Like, I missed my opportunity a decade ago when he was doing them left and right.
Just don't go dressed up like 11.
No, this won't be very, very normal.
Okay.
Just regular old boring Nate.
in
geeking
his
out over Big Trouble in Little China.
in his metal vest, where everyone's going to think he's cosplaying Eddie.
Yep.
And that happens.
It's okay.
You're proto Eddie. You were first.
I wouldn't be able to save Chrissy.
Chrissy, wake up. I don't like this.
Chrissy, wake up.
Why did they make that a song?
I love it.
What is wrong with
I love seeing all the variations of it.
What is wrong with the internet, man?
Clever.
That's
clever
not clever. That's not
they good.
No. That is not clever. No, I refuse. All right, we're done.
We're
all right,
done.
everybody. Thanks for checking out this very odd episode. I have no idea what's into me and Nate tonight, but we love the Blob. We were just all over the place.
We love
this
the
is what
Blob.
happens. This is what happens when
love
we don't
you.
synopsize. So if you want to keep up with all the shenanigans, please go over to all of our social media sites: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. We're still slowly working on TikTok. We're not very good at that stuff. Also, we're going to be finally on another social media platform. I guess we can call it social media. Another media platform.
Well, at this point, when this airs, we are already on that social media platform.
We will be. So yeah, we are past us talking about future us already of doing something. So you would have seen our very first live stream on YouTube where we talk about Prey. So hopefully it went good. We don't know yet because we
don't know yet because future Nate and Charlie are dicks and past Charlie and Nate are cool.
Until then can we call past us dicks and then we're the cool ones again?
And then present Nate and Charlie are the cool ones.
Are we going to do a hot tub time machine through the YouTubes?
I was thinking Bill and Ted.
Oh, totally different time travel movies.
Yeah.
I should have went Terminator. That's my bad.
Yeah. But thank you for joining us on that live stream if you did. And hopefully it wasn't awkward. I don't know. We're going to see how it goes.
Can't be any more awkward than this entire episode, Nate.
Hey, you knew what you're getting in for when you clicked on that button.
No,
it was a Tuesday morning. You hit play, and then you just went for the ride.
I don't think anyone was expecting this episode. This is it's a little off brand for us tonight.
I needed it.
I like silliness. There's nothing wrong with being a little silly, being a little goofy. Just talk about whatever we want. I'm not trying to make this filler. I might edit all this shit out. I don't know.
Who knows?
I might like this to be a nice tight hour and a half.
You do what you want.
That's right. And
edit
don't
the whole
forget,
episode away if you wanted.
And
drop a rerun.
Can I end this now? And as always, please remember to go check out all the other shows on the Give Me Back My Podcast Network. We have Give Me Back My Pro Wrestling, Monster Movie Stomp Down, Good Beer, Bad Movie Night, I Know You Hear Me with Flynn Hendricks, and Tales from the Haunt with Flynn Hendricks and Just Jeff. So please go give those guys a check out. Also, please, I know we've been pushing it quite a bit on our social medias. Please rate and comment anything. Just the algorithm sucks. We need
the algorithm is turning more and more towards videos. That's why we're launching onto YouTube as well. Even Instagram has said videos are the future, and they're making a lot of people angry because some of us want to just post pictures of what we're doing, not film 30-second clips of our lives. But this is just the way that technology goes. So we got to adapt to it and adapt to it quickly.
You either ride the wave or you drown. So we're going to attempt to ride the wave. We may drown in the process, but we'll at least try. So
I can't swim. I need floaties.
I'll get you some floaties.
Thank you. Orange.
You want orange? Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to get you pink blobby ones.
I like that too. And match my shoelaces.
I'll get you pink blobby ones and a helmet.
Cool.
You're going to need one.
Going to need it. But even if you were to if you're listening to an episode that you like and you just share it to your Instagram story, it means a ton because then maybe 20 people see that story and maybe one person clicks on it and they decide, you know what? I'll give these guys a try. And that's all we're asking. Give us a try.
Every download counts. Every download just kind of helps boost it. Boost our morale, boost everything. We're doing good. It's not like we're not doing good, but we could be doing better. When we
can always be doing better.
We can always do.
And it's just, it's always humbling to see states where I know not a single human being is downloading our episodes. It's incredible, and I love it.
That is kind of wild. I do enjoy. We play the light up the map game to see what new states are listening to us. So, all right, we're done rambling. It's been a weird episode. Thanks for sticking out this long, Nate. What's a good word, Bubba?
I wasn't prepared this week.
Oh, is that your
That's
good
it.
word? Okay, I'll fix it then. That's fine. I was like, are you not prepared for the good word? But I see what you did there now, so we're good. I might leave this in. I don't know.
Now, let's talk about how I get back home.
I did have a question for you.
Oh, okay. What's up?
There's a scene in this movie where they're interrogating Kevin Dillion.
Yeah.
Does he lick the cop's chin?
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought.
I almost think that was improvised.
It had to have been. Which, what a power move to a cop if you lick their chin. No one's prepared for the chin lick.
No one is. That was. I think in my head canon that was improvised, and that he licks Emil, the melted man. So yeah, good catch.
All right,
lickety stick.